I want to talk more about global politics. Recently, we've heard, we've seen this standoff in the Taiwan Strait. We've seen some interesting comments from the French President Emmanuel Macron about how he thinks Europe should be coupling with the United States. How's this all going down in the US at the moment?
Coupling or decoupling with the United States when it comes to Macron? Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I saw Macron go. I've met him several times. I've interacted with him several times. He's striving for relevance. He's still hurt, psychologically by the AUKUS deal. So he's looking for attention and so forth. And he's trying to get Europe to sort of occupy this middle ground between the U.S. and China. I'm not sure that Macron speaks for most of France, let alone for most of Europe. So I sort of take his comments and I put them aside. I do think the issue of decoupling is very interesting because, I get asked a lot here on financial television as to whether or not, we should be decoupling economically from China. And my answer is, well, as long as we admit that China is going to eventually try to decouple from us, I think that's the right environment in which to answer that question. So I think the question is better put not to Macron, not to us right now, it's to China, which is, does China mean to decouple from the West economically? And I think at least, in the midterm, the answer is yes.
Yeah, look, our Treasurer and the RBA Governor is about to head to Washington for the G20 summit there. And Jim Chalmers has said it comes at a time, essentially, where it's getting more complex, the global economy. You have all the same problems we do, rising inflation, higher interest rate rises. We've got a rental crisis here. I don't know whether you're looking at that as well. So in Voterland, are they... is this angry? Is there red hot anger at the political class, or is it just kind of accepted?
No, there's actually some not red hot anger, but simmering anger against China. Again, it's one of the few things that sort of draws Democrats and Republicans together in Washington. I think after many years, more than 20, I guess now, of assuming that if the Chinese got economic freedom, that political freedom would follow, that the exact opposite has happened, is that as the Chinese have gotten richer, they've gotten more authoritarian, and that's sort of causing Republicans and Democrats alike in the United States to scratch their head and say, wait a second, maybe China's a lot more like the Soviet Union than we thought it was going to be, and that is causing sort of a reconsideration of policy. It's one of the reasons you saw Kevin McCarthy meet with the president of Taiwan this past week, something that might not happen 10, 15 years ago, but that makes two speakers in a row, because Nancy Pelosi also met with the president of Taiwan in Taiwan, as I recall. So you're starting to see that general change, that sea change, not only in Washington, but back home, of saying, you know what, maybe China isn't the friend that we thought they were, and let's start trying to find out who our friends are in that region and treat them better.
Well, at least the Democrats and the Republicans agree on something at the moment. Mick Mulvaney, thanks so much for your time. We'll speak next week.